Hey guys, welcome back again to the Cut Light Smoke podcast presented by Zeal Cigars, cigarsoapbox.com, and coming to you live from the Huddle Up Store studios right here in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. It is the Cut Light Smoke podcast, and I am joined here by two of who I would call little brethren or little bros. Brethren, dude, you're not little anything, that's for sure. Neither of you guys are little. Both of you are like 6'18". Or do the math on that. You know, it's called you like 7'3" or something like that.
Oh, so you bad.
No, it's something like something like that. Well, I'm joined here by two guys who are joined both at the hip and at the brain and in business, and that is Jake and Jake. I know you're wowed already just the way I'm presenting things, I'm speaking. Of course it is, dude. That's what I do off the hip. All right. So here's my question for you. So I've known you guys for a very long time, and we've been on several podcasts together. But I want to talk today about brotherhood. I want to talk about why so many men are lacking that and how to get that, particularly if you're a guy that moves into a new city and you're like, what do you do? How do you find a clan? How do you find a group of people or a group of guys that they can be friends with? You know, you guys grew up together, right? So tell them a little bit about your history. Jake, start with you, Jake Brown. Jake Brown's in the War Channel. Look at the camera right there and say, hi, I'm Jake Brown.
Hi, I'm Jake Brown.
Yeah, okay. Look at Jake Brown. Look at Jake Brown. Look over there and say, hi, I'm Jake Brown.
Hi, I'm Jake Brown again.
Okay. There you go. So tell them how you guys met.
Yeah, so we actually met in high school. We went to PV High School here locally. I think we had a couple of freshman classes together. Kind of connected, didn't really talk too much then. We were on the same football team and everything. Jake was the all-star playing. I was kind of just there. So connected then, and then going through high school, we came to find out we have a lot of similarities. Got along well. Personalities were perfect with each other, and we kind of just started hanging out from there. And, you know, it's history since then. So it's
okay.
We're okay. When one of us is there, the other one's always there right beside him.
All right. Okay.
Not always.
Oh, wow. The truth comes out. The truth comes out. Is there trouble in paradise? What's going on?
When the lights go off.
Okay. It's a little trouble. Okay. So you don't live together.
No.
Okay.
I just watch from a distance.
Okay. I'll go with that. Jake Morrow. It is the pretty Jake. Look at the camera up here. There's three different cameras right now. So I'm not sure what to look at, but I'll tell you, look at this camera up here.
Oh, okay. Jake, Mr. Hollywood Morrow. Nice to meet you. Jake, Mr. Hollywood Morrow. How you doing?
Are you trying to wink at the camera?
Yeah, dude. I'm winking at you.
No girls watch this. No girls.
I saw for the
no girls. No.
Wait, there's women here?
There's no women.
No. I came for these.
I'm a 99.9% male industry.
He does not swing that way.
Okay. But you guys both are in relationships currently, right?
Correct.
So tell me the status of your relationships.
I'm married going on 5 years, actually.
That's awesome, dude.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years, dude.
And
when's your anniversary?
September 29th.
Oh, coming up.
So
coming up. Confirm. Okay.
Been together for 12 years. 12 years.
Okay.
So it's been keeps me online.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Jake?
I have a girlfriend.
You have a girlfriend?
On officially for a little over a year.
Is that
a year and a half?
Is that the longest relationship you've had?
No.
Oh, whoa. Okay. I did not know that. Oh, it's most serious. So not the longest, but the most serious. So been longer, less serious relationships. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's go in. Let's just go over that. We're just gonna go into that real quick.
I'm interested. Yeah.
We're gonna go into that, and we're gonna find out what's going on with you. So, how are you in a relationship longer than a year but less serious?
I mean, we're all younger, right? Back in the day, I thought I knew what I wanted in life. I had no freaking clue what I wanted in life, but yeah, I got a really good direction and kind of can actually see a future. What I thought was a future before was not anywhere close to what I got now.
Okay.
So you just grow up, you experience life. I was immature back in the day, to say the least.
Can you give me the qualifications of the word immature, Jake? Can you tell me how you were, Jake? Or should I let Jake Brown tell me how you were?
Jake Brown has a heck of a story.
So Jake Brown, go ahead and tell us a little bit about
most things.
Jake Brown, go ahead and please tell us a little bit about Jake Morrow.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I'm just saying.
There is a story.
With some weird interactions that I don't really remember. Jake was a late bloomer.
Okay.
That had a lot to do with it.
A late bloomer. Okay.
Well, just in size. Let's go size first of all.
Okay.
It's getting weird.
It's getting weird. Just getting weird already. Okay.
So Jake, I think you graduated high school at what, 5'7", 5'6"?
Yep. Oh wow.
5'6", 145.
Holy cow.
Oh, you're 60.
How much do you weigh now? How tall are you now?
He started hanging out with me. So I'm 6 foot and 225, I think was the.
Okay. All right.
So, but I didn't grow until after high school. Graduated, went into college, and then the next, I sprouted and I used to go to the bars at 21 years old, and people would be like surprised because I have facial hair, I'm taller, I'm in decent shape.
I've seen pictures. In fact, I want to show some pictures real quick of who you are. And so, believe it or not, this who you're going to see in the middle right here, that's Jake in high school. Why am I sweating? Just said you should be sweating more, because while you can't see it right here, our audience at home can actually see your immaturity is what you call this. The stud muffin. The stud muffin.
Jake either way the same when he shaves his face too. My face is still there. That's why I've had facial hair for 9-10 years now.
That's sad. Only 10 years. So I think I was
consistently.
I think I was born here. That's my. Yeah, I think I was born hairy. I call me Esau. I don't know. Yeah, I'm part. Well, I heard someone say it this way. I'm part Wookiee and part something else. I don't know. But I always say I remember having hair literally on my face in 7th grade. I was one that had a trash dash in 7th grade. Yeah, that was me in 7th grade. So now it's all gray. But yeah, sincerely. Okay. So you're late bloomer.
Yep.
Okay. And you guys met in high school and stay connected after high school.
Yeah. And I think that's when the relationship really kind of So we knew each other freshman year, like he said. We didn't really interact too much sophomore, junior, kind of came back to it senior year. And then after high school is when we really kind of solidified seeing each other every single day.
Okay. How'd that happen?
Honestly, I don't know. Find any other friends. Speak for yourself, okay? Speak for yourself. I couldn't find any other friends. It was just one of those things where next thing you know, I show up at his house and just walk in and hang out, and he's coming around to mine. And
were you guys working together at all at that point? Or were you? Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
We would go to the gym, hang out. We would go and pick up basketball games, volleyball games, just kind of do random activities, random trips to California. Just, hey, let's go on a whim.
Okay.
So yeah, we just had a lot of similarities. Just like to do random stuff all the time.
So there's a point actually where you guys are just hanging out all the time. So there was time there. Yeah, that's for sure. There's a tremendous amount of time. How long was it when you guys were hanging out to the point where you went, yeah, this is my friend. This is a good friend.
We're still working on it. It depends on the day. I think. Throughout the day, 15 minutes ago, we weren't friends.
Right.
15-5. Yeah.
And guys, that's brotherhood right there. That's brotherhood.
Let me tell you, it's not just marriage couples that love and hate each other at the same time. Let me tell you, that's brotherhood. I don't know if there's ever a moment that just clicked. I was like, yeah, that's my best friend.
You don't remember?
I think it's just like
you don't remember
kind of morphed into it.
So to me, the brotherhood thing sticks when I'm going to do something I would normally do by myself. That I go, I want to make sure this guy's with me. That type thing. So
that was just our day-to-day interactions,
right?
Okay. And instead of it being something, crazy that we had to go do or some sort of event, it was just an every day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Right. That was the event.
I'm going to pick Ubers. Come with me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So the brotherhood thing, kind of the time was there. Tell me a time when I preach this all the time. You guys are somewhat products of this, but I talk about 3 ingredients that brothers need: that time, trust, and truth all the time. So tell me a time when the trust you knew was there, because that builds over time. So when did you know that there was a trust factor that was there with your brother? You're like, man, I need you to come through on this. And he did. And he showed up in a way that proved to you that he was worthy of your trust.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be like a big event. It's small stuff. Flat tire, car didn't start, having an issue at work, needed to get home, needed to get somewhere. It was the little things that just he just showed up for. If I needed something, my family needed help moving something, he was instantly there. Something happened at the house, didn't even have to ask for help. He showed up to do it, right? It wasn't a giant event that was like, wow, I like this guy. He showed up when I needed him.
Right.
There were things down the road that always happened, but it was just those little things that you're like, holy shit, I don't even have to ask for it. He's here to help me, my family, anyone that's close to me. He has their back just as much as I would have theirs.
Okay.
So the bromance is getting real on this one. But
are we? Well, I think here's a weird thing that I don't understand. I understand about my gender, but I think it's a crazy thing that when you're essentially telling a guy, you love him and you respect him, you have to make jokes because it gets uncomfortable. And I get that. I
tell Jake I love him every time we hang up the phone. I love it. That is no joke.
I know. I hear it all the time. I never get one I love you, just so everybody understands that.
I say,
no, but
the biggest thing was, it had to deal with family. So if it wasn't Jake, I knew I was involved with his family, because if I had an issue at my house and I wasn't there, I could have my wife call his dad and be like, hey, water heater's out. What do I do? And he'd be knocking on the door within 5 minutes. So being a part of the family, it got way past the brotherhood of things. It was, or the friendship of things. It turned into a real brotherhood. It was like, hey, no, I'm included on all the family text messages. We're going out to birthday dinner. We're going to family this or family that. And I was included in the text. And at first I'm like, hey guys, wrong Jake. Like, might want to.
He got replaced. It wasn't wrong Jake. His name was, I was getting text messages and I'm like, what are you?
And then it was bringing Jake. Jake is my +1.
Yeah.
So to his own family events. But no, it became more of a family thing.
Okay.
And it was just like, all right, no, his dad's my dad, his mom's my mom, and vice versa. So
That's
became more than just, hey, let's go to the park and hang out. It was, a whole brotherhood thing.
So as brothers, what ends up happening eventually is that brotherhood goes through testing and trials. It always does with everybody. So there has to be times that you guys had testing and trials in your friendship. And you're like, man, this is hard. I want to get through this. And I'm frustrated. How do you work that out?
One of the biggest thing was going into business with each other.
Okay.
Right. So we had, little things that everyone does. We right. Simple stuff. But
Most guys yell at each other and say, you're an idiot, hang up, I'll see you tomorrow.
You give them the truth.
Right.
Guys give the truth.
Yeah.
We're 100%. See, not to judge females in any way, but they tend to.
But you are. Go ahead.
Back where men shoot you straight to the face, right?
Right.
It's like, if we got a problem with you,
100%.
I'm going to call your ass out.
100%.
So there's little things like that. But when we went into business together, there was a hard dynamic of we're both in charge. We both know how to push each other's buttons to piss each other off. So we had to separate, understanding that business is one thing, but friendship is more than this business is ever going to be worth. Right. So, and it took us a little bit to get there. It wasn't like it was one instance and it was like, all right, we're cool again. It was like 6 months where it's like, I'm going to punch you in the face. No, I'm punching you in the face.
Yeah, there'd be plenty of weeks where, again, it's the button pushing, right? So
Yeah.
The antagonizing, it's, hey, I know he's pissed off. Let's see how much further I can push it. I do have an issue with that.
Let me just say this really quick. Jake's spiritual gift is pushing buttons.
No, really clarify what I was just going to say. Clarify
Jake Brown, the orange hat Jake, the one that doesn't look at the camera ever, that guy, he can push buttons. You've done it with me before where I'm like, what do you mean? All right. Okay. And, there's a bell that goes off in my head and I go, he's young, don't kill. The gun away, so
he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, of course.
On purpose.
But that's one of those things. So you
end it with a hug.
You do, and not any overlighters.
Bullshit, mama. Bullshit.
So let me ask this and clarify. So when there's something to resolve between the two of you, how do you resolve it? How do you do that? Is it one person's more the resolver that says, hey man, let's sit down and chat about this, or is it a matter of like, your trust is so deep in the person, it's a matter of like, hey man, I'm sorry, and just go on.
See, yeah, I don't even think it's a sorry factor. It's an understanding that we have that we can look at each other and go, oh shit, this is a serious moment. And it goes from, oh, I'm taking it too far to, okay, you know what? I got to take a second because this is about to get real. And it's just understanding each other. We've known each other for so long,
right?
On many different levels of, going through life and relationships and, him being married and, me finding something serious, and it's just we have an understanding of each other, so it's a moment of like, okay, my bad, my bad, right? There's no, hey, I'm sorry, let's hug it out. It's we have an understanding of I've gone too far. I'm gonna backpedal. We good? I'll correct it next time.
So there's, you guys both know I've mentored tons of guys and things like that. So something I like to ask guys that I want to ask both of you, and if guys are watching this from Cincinnati and they've been here in Phoenix, I've mentored before. I call it affirmation bombing, and that is what are two things about Jake Morrow?
Couples therapy?
No, we're not in couples therapy. Right. You just go with it. Okay, it's a podcast.
This is eyes.
Yeah, it is. No. Well, what are two things you really respect about him that you don't have?
That I don't have?
Yes, because we tend to be friends with people that we don't have necessarily. That we don't have. We tend to surround ourselves with people. Good, 100%. Good leaders tend to surround themselves by people who have strengths when they're weak about things. So what are things that he has? Two aspects about Jake that he either has, or things that you really respect about him.
So one of the big things that's really come out within the past couple of years, especially within business, is his marketing aspect of things. He's very good at. He's an extrovert. I'm an extreme introvert. I hate talking to people. I would rather not. If you were say, let's go out to dinner, I'd be like, no, I'm gonna stay home. I don't want to leave my house. And Jake's about meeting up with friends, connecting, meeting up with old high school guys, girls, whatever it may be.
No girls.
No girls. Wrong.
Introvert, extrovert.
Introvert. He's very good, and he has got marketing brain as well. You know, within our business, I run a portion of the business. He runs the other half of things, and he has to constantly think of new ways to continue to grow that business when it's not, you know, excelling to the best of its abilities. He's very good at diving deep into that box, thinking outside the box even, to figure out things that work best. So his brain just works a lot differently than how mine does. Very good people manager. I think I'm decent. But yeah, I would have to say that his marketing brain, how well he is in front of the cameras and everything. I wish I had just a little hint of what he can do in front of the camera.
He's brilliant in front of the camera. I've seen you do pretty incredible things in front of the camera. I know. I think
Fake it till you make it, people.
I think I'm okay in front of the camera. I think you have got greatness on you for the camera. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
On me right now. So
tight fitting. So vice versa, Jake Morrow. So to Jake Brown, what's two things about Jake that you just, you know, absolutely?
Well, he only gave me one thing. It's totally fine.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. He gave a very long paragraph for that one thing. So
he did.
Equalize that. Equalize that.
There's one thing in high school essays. I was gonna say, everyone thought Jake was gonna be a lawyer back in the day just because he could argue with every single person. It doesn't matter if it was right or wrong. If he was wrong, he'd argue even harder.
I know.
Right?
I know.
The thing for me, and he's actually, boy, do you know.
I know.
The thing that he actually taught me a long time ago is if you're going to give a shit, give a shit. It doesn't matter if it's big, if it's small. If you're not going to give a shit, then I'm going to be so unbothered by it because I just truly don't care. But if I'm going to give a shit, I'm going to give every ounce of my being to give a shit. That's something that I learned from him a long time ago, whether that was with sports, whether that was with I don't want to say school, but whatever he was determined to do and he gave a shit about, he did. Helping family. You know, he does whatever he can do for his family. Yeah. It does not matter if it's big, if it's small. If he gives a shit about you, he will turn over this world for you. And that was something that I learned from him a long time ago.
I've known Jake longer than you. Mm-hmm. And so I coached Jake in football. And so, you know, and then seeing him morph into the man that he is today is just, I'm more proud than I could ever be of any athlete I've ever coached, to be quite honest. You know, and probably because I think I've known you longer than most, or I'm closer to you than most too. Like I see you on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis at least. You know,
we do talk quite a bit. We've kept in touch and everything.
Right. So and I don't deal with all the guys I've mentored and stuff. So so let me ask you this. So starting out with the original question that we got here, when a guy moves in and he's new to a city, that's something that's happening right now in Phoenix. It's almost epidemic proportions. Okay, the guys are moving here. They're getting jobs. 85032 in Scottsdale are the two fastest growing zip codes in the country right now. Wow. So like people are moving in like crazy. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know you guys have homes. I don't know if you've been reached out by any realtor. Hey, you want to sell your home? You want to sell your home? Yeah, exactly. So everyone's asking to buy our houses. So a guy moves here, you know, he's either single or young married. Okay, let's just say single, young, married, or engaged. That's kind of where you're at. And he's sitting there like, how does he find brothers? What does he do to create that brotherhood? What are some things that you think that he can? What are some positions that he can put himself into to find a good brotherhood? I mean, just guys that he can create a relationship like this with.
Well, this is one for the generation. So this relationship will never happen again. Promise you, guaranteed. Don't care who you are out there. Never gonna find a Jake squared like this. For me, so I'm right with I actually went through something like this quite a few years back when I moved to Virginia. I moved out there for a job. I knew one person in the state, right? So the thing for me, outside of work, there's not really a great way to approach men unless it's in a sporting activity, unless it's sitting around having a beer or smoking a cigar. That's the biggest thing that kind of led me to like-minded people. And then it's just being there. Right. I think they'll acknowledge your presence and just understanding like, wow, this guy continues to come back and, you know, making a small conversation. It's nowadays, I think even back then, 5 years ago, it was very hard because nobody wants to interact face-to-face anymore. A lot of
online,
on an app, on social media, on something, hey, let's hang out here in this event. And then that event, everyone's staring at their phones. So for me, work was one thing, and then outside of work, you go grab a beer, and it's still a different dynamic. Everyone acts differently than they do at work than outside of it. So the hard part is just going to a place where you enjoy, and there's going to be guys that are going to be at that place because they enjoy it too. And just, it's hard to nudge somebody sitting at a bar top, but make a funny joke, kind of listen into a conversation, and just be yourself. At the end of the day, being yourself, you're going to find people that actually are going to appreciate that instead of, trying to show off a nice fancy car outside of a restaurant or walking down the street with some Gucci bag running across your shoulders.
Okay.
Nobody's going to approach you and talk to you like that, right? Just be yourself. That's how people communicate.
So let me ask you a question then, Brown.
Yes.
You move to a city, all right? You move to a city, and you're trying to find dudes to hang out with. And Jake Morrow was, savagely taken from us life in a Krispy Kreme donut accident. We won't go into that. But I had been there. Yeah, so he ate too many Krispy Kremes, and that was it. So didn't go to the gym enough. That's it. So, anyways, that's not a.
I wouldn't be that lucky.
That's not a sign. I wouldn't be that lucky.
I'd die from choking on a carrot or something. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Run up. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, V8 smacks me in the head and I'm dead. Yeah,
that's great. This is fun. So you're in a new city. All right, you're in a new city, not Phoenix. Any place you've been here most of your life, right?
My whole life.
Your whole life, okay. And you find yourself in a new city. What do you do to find other like-minded guys? And when you say like-minded, qualify, because you said like-minded. I really like that statement. So when you say like-minded, break that into categories that you mean. And I want to see what you think, because I have an idea in my mind of what I mean by that. But what do you mean by that when you say like-mindedness?
So somebody who not necessarily just enjoys the hobbies that I enjoy, right? But somebody who can act themselves, which means they have nothing really to hide. They're not worried about what other people think about them. Right? They're appreciative of who they are and where they came from. So they're not trying to be somebody different. And then somebody, there's a lot of things that we do.
This is so hard for guys, though, bro. Because so many of us, I don't know about you, but when you walk into a room, you're sizing up the competition. You're looking at people like, "What's up, dude? Who are you?" That type thing. So
it's hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you judge the shit out of it.
Yeah, right.
That's what I mean. That's why it's
then you're both friends. You're like, "What happened?"
Yeah,
right.
No, honestly, you're a big gym guy.
Yes, yeah.
So going to the gym, you said, dude, that's bigger than you. You automatically judging him. I don't like that guy.
And that doesn't happen often. But go ahead.
But does he re-rack his weights? Does he help somebody, maybe who's struggling or new to the gym, who's not very fit? Does he walk over and say, "Hey, you're not doing this right. Sit down, don't do it"? Or does he say, "Hey, man, just a little pointer, like you're arching your back a lot. Let's keep it straight back," and then just go somewhere else? Somebody who actually cares about helping him improve his life rather than talking shit, taking a video of him saying, "Wow, look at this nerd at the gym." Like, that's not the type of guy I want to hang with. That's not a honorable dude who actually gives a shit about something. Like, that's a guy who just cares what he thinks, what it looks like.
So the thing you said to hit me that I want to capitalize on is you said honorable dude. You want to find somebody who's an honorable dude. So that means you have a value system in your head.
Absolutely.
This guy shares values with me, and those values are X, Y, Z, or what have you. And not everybody has the same values. I mean, there's guys I'm definitely not friends with because they don't share the same value system I do. And that's a barrier in my life, a boundary in my life I put up a very long time ago. I'm like, in all honesty, I'm not, anybody who's a swinger, it's not gonna be a friend of mine. Just kind of
those guys in your circle. With the exact same values,
100%,
same honor, same work ethic, all that.
All of us are similar friends with them. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a huge thing. So what you're talking about too is that getting into a public space is huge. Okay, just someplace where you can meet other dudes.
Horse beef, going onto a golf. It's how do I approach somebody without being weird?
Yeah. So why would you worry about weird? Let me ask you this. What's the approach about being weird?
So I'm more concerned about somebody coming up and being weird or creepy because that means they're hiding something from me.
Oh, okay.
Right? They're not being
there's an agenda.
Who they are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why are we
sales be like that?
Well, like, right. Have somebody pickpocket me? Like, my wallet can be gone in 5 minutes? Are you going to wait for me to walk out to my truck and then jump me with 3 friends? It's just, that dynamic of, it's coming across weird or creepy is more of a concern than anything else because it's just be yourself. That's true. Just move to the city. Like, is there a cool place outside of this bar to get a drink? Hey, where's the best burger spot in town? Right? There's little things to just start a small conversation to be like, oh, cool. Yeah, thanks so much, man. I'll check it out. Appreciate it. And that's it. You can leave it at that and then make it the next time you see him, start a bigger conversation and a bigger conversation. But if you jump right into it like, hey, just moved here. You want to go out, get a burger?
Yes.
Hang out with me?
Yes.
I'd be like,
That's
where's
weird.
the camera?
Oh, that's weird. That's weird. And then you're talking to you like, is there Krispy Kreme near?
Yes.
Can you drive me?
Right.
There's going to be a big accident with Jake Mara.
Are you buying? Because, yeah, I'm in now. Actually, I changed my mind. Yeah, I'm in. Be creepy. I'm so for food.
So in that regard, so you just moved there and you're starting to figure out like I think one of the things is there's not a lot of places that guys can go to be around other guys where like the gym's one for sure, but then you're in competition, okay? Because you're lifting and guys are competitive. That's just part of natural juices flowing. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, but the bar, okay, if guys go in there to pick up chicks, then there's competition there as well.
That's the, if you're going 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night.
I'm making a case for the cigar bar right now. See, the thing about a cigar lounge is you're going there and you're usually hitting intergenerational stuff. You're getting older guys and younger guys together typically. And our lounge is pretty diverse, if you would, from younger all the way to older. And I think you're sitting down, you have an opportunity to actually talk with somebody, and there's no preconceived notions. You're both smoking cigars. You got nowhere to go for at least 45 minutes, in that regard. So, plus, I mean, we just saw this. We heard the stat the other day that nicotine increases testosterone. It's a study just done in 2016 and 2020 about this. Yeah, I know, right? Right. And you really don't get that much nicotine. So it's really interesting in that regard. And I think Andrew Tate said something about that one time, and the study was done like literally as a result of him kicking that off. So it's really interesting.
Tate says it must be true.
Right. But so you're there and you finally connect with this dude, and he moves from just being a dude you see at the gym to a friend. How much time do you spend with a friend? It depends on when you're single, married, or whatever else. I understand that, but
yeah, so there's plenty of different circumstances there. But it's tough, especially now since we're in older age. Like Jake and I, as friends, we really don't hang out much out of work anymore. We have our lives now. We have family stuff going on, whatever it may be. So it's not a constant. It's we talk all the time. We send videos to each other all the time, whatever, on Instagram.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, all I heard was we send videos to each other.
Yeah, of me like taking my shirt off. It's not weird, but
the socks are on. Don't worry.
They got awkward Bradley's. No, but I don't know. That's weird for me because I'm such an introvert, right? So I'm not big. Just recently, I started going to different cigar lounges to try to meet new people, and not necessarily.
I didn't think you were gonna tell him that. Oh my god.
You're allowed to go anywhere you want, dude.
Yeah.
That's still, yeah. You're still my favorite. Don't worry. Thank you. I appreciate that.
But no, I started. My big thing was I need to start networking more. I need to open up a network.
Right.
Not necessarily my circle. There's a different thing between network and circle.
Explain that, because I think that's a really good way. Because I think you can network without inviting guys into circles, but sometimes those network guys get into the circle, and sometimes that's great. Sometimes it's terrible.
So
explain that.
So I have a very, very small circle. My entire
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, out here on Friday nights.
Right. And when guys try to get invited, we say no.
But it's also but it's also very hard to get in my circle because it takes a long time to trust somebody.
Right.
These guys, they were kind of referred in my circle in a sense because it's like, hey, let's meet up on Friday. Hey, this is so and so. This is so and so. He owns this business. He runs this business. He does this or that.
Right.
And then over time, it was like, all right, these guys are very like-minded with me. They have very similar work ethic. They're all happily married dudes. They have a lot of the same thing I do. So building that circle and team of people that I can trust was easy. But someone that I meet from the gym, I'll say, hey, what's up? How you doing? But it'll take a lot for me to be like, hey, come over, meet my wife, meet my family, do this or that. Let's go have dinner. So getting into that circle is extremely tough just because it takes a lot for me to trust you. And I don't talk to anyone from high school. It's Jake's the only person I communicate with from high school. Jake's the only person I communicate through college.
Travis, maybe. I was just gonna say,
I know Travis. Yeah. I coach Travis too.
So Travis.
Talk about Travis too.
But
Travis,
he moved out of the state, so he's gone.
He's dead to you. Is what you're trying to say?
He's not. Because we're dead, but different area codes. So I don't know. It's a whole networking thing to build your network, to help out others, to help out yourself, to help out your business, other people's business. That's huge in that business sense. The whole circle thing is really family.
I think when you see a guy be a net positive to culture, you want to be around that guy. you see a guy doing things for his community, for his culture and things like that. You're like, that's a cool thing. That's a guy I want to be around. That's somebody I want in my life, or I want to know more about that guy. Finding out and talking to him at a cigar bar or bar or whatever else like that. He's different. You mentioned the gym the other day and helping somebody in the gym. This is really interesting. So I go to the same gym, been there for about a year or two, and I saw a guy who was obviously new, and I've been working out all my life, so on and off. I say on and off all my life, but I'm on the on-site cycle right now, on the on cycle, but I know enough. I know. Yeah.
Asking for the gym.
Or were you doing keto? I'm on keto now. Now there's Krispy Kreme. But so there's I knew that he was new and he was doing a certain exercise the wrong way, literally, and he's gonna end up hurting his shoulder if he kept doing it that way. And so I went up to him and said, "Hey man, can I tell you something just real quick? I see you're new, and I've been here for a little bit, and he goes, yeah, please do." He's a younger guy too, and he goes, "Yeah, please do." I'm like, "Well, if you did this and you held your elbow in, it's really gonna take all the pressure off your shoulder." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." I said, "And do you feel the contraction in your lat now?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I really do. Thanks, man. I appreciate that." And what's fascinating, I wasn't doing that to like try to get any kind of friendship out of him or anything else. I didn't want to hurt himself, first off, because he seemed new. And if you go to the gym and you're new and you're yourself, you're never coming back. Yeah.
Gym culture is so tough to get involved in, just because, I'm the same way. I sit there and I'm a form police. I have to be perfect form at all times, only because I've had so many dang injuries from working out.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. How many times as a coach?
That's myself. Yeah. But just, rocking back and forth, swinging, or not keeping your back straight, knowing tips and tricks to that. A lot of people at the gym don't want to hear it. They think, hey, bro, I've been working out for 10 years. I know exactly what I'm doing. It's like, all right, well, continue on with your 800-pound leg press. That does nothing for you.
Right.
But here, let me help you. You can go into a 135-pound squat and work 100 more muscles and be better off.
This is how you do a lunge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so the body squat is very, very difficult because, again, I see people all day long that have horrible form, but everyone's so offended nowadays.
Right.
Hey, I'm just trying to help you, or hey, are you judging me, or whatever it may be.
I think I get away with that because I'm older. I think because I look older now, and that's the weirdest thing for me at the gym is when I see guys what I used to be, and I'm not that anymore, and I can't do what I used to do. I can do maybe half, a little bit more maybe than half, what I used to do. At least I tell myself that when I go in. But I mean that's interesting. And so I'm at either their older brother or their dad's age, So and they're kind of like, okay, yeah, man, I appreciate that. And so, like, that's one thing that I've learned. But I've also learned in the friendship factor. Like, there's another guy. Like, I intergenerationalize myself like crazy. Like, I have guys who are older than me. Like at the gym, I went up to a guy who was. I thought he was like 52, 53. Turns out he's like 67.
It's like his dad.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, man, and he was killing it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're killing it. Way to go, man. He's like, yeah, I'm getting old. And I'm like, I know, dude. 49, it's all downhill. It's like, oh, you're a pup. I'm like, I'm a pup. How old are you? He's like, I'm 67. I'm like,
you're old, man.
Wow, dude. Feels so stupid at this point, But I mean, and his name was Gary. And I remember that now every time I see him in the gym, he's like, what's up, old man? And I'm like, I know, dude, right? So it's one of those things that in familiarity that you have with somebody, I think also helps build that trust that you're always there. You see them almost at the same time. Now they're more acquaintances, but how you go from that into a friendship is just like, hey, dude, you want to get a bite to eat sometime afterwards? Something like that. You want to go, like, are you watching the game? Want to go to the sports bar and watch the game with a bunch of guys? You want to join me? Things like that, so
30 plus, I don't think that works anymore.
Oh, really? Okay. How so? So test that for me, because I've done it 3 times. It's worked every time.
Yeah.
But I'm a convincer, though. I'm a convincer guy.
I was going to say, you are a people person. We've talked about this before. You walk into a room and you're changing the dynamic of the room. There's not a lot of people that can do that.
Right. I think something that you said about like you two, introvert and extrovert, I think it's much easier for an extrovert, obviously, to do that than an introvert. That to happy just go in the gym, not talking to anybody, earbuds in the whole time.
You can ask Jake how I am at the gym. I'm there for one purpose. It's to work out. I'm not there to make friends or anything. Yeah, there's a community.
Jake Mars, like, let's have conversations.
Let's talk about what, like, we see somebody we know. I go over and say, hey, it's so good to see you. How are you? Just like a quick interaction. She goes, is that Jake Brown? I'm like, yeah. I've seen him like 4 or 5 times. We've never said hi to each other. They just kind of like,
that's okay. That's all right.
And it's always like, why is he so pissed off? And it's like, no, I'm just, I'm there to work out. I have my earbuds.
If you're not smiling, you do look pissed off all the time.
That's just,
you have a resting Resting Jake face. It's got a little bit of an Elvis twitch, little quiver, that kind of thing. So,
but again, I have my earbuds in, my music's probably on full blast. If you're sitting there talking to me, I'm not listening to you. But I'm just in the.
You don't listen to us normally. What are you talking about? You don't need headphones in.
Selective.
Tell me about selective hearing.
Selective listen.
So my father's always
Wait. Selective listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We still love them.
So now you have. Let's say you have a friend. You got a group of friends at this point, and so on and so forth. What do you do to make that group of friends both meet each other in? Because you want. I always say this, and I heard this from a really wise man a while back. You want your crew before your crisis. You always do, because life is tragic, and time you will have crisis. You'll have people die. You'll have children get hurt. You'll have someone breaks into your house. Someone steals your car. I mean, all these different things that you go through in life, they're inevitable. To have guys there that I can say, hey man, by the way, I need some help right now. And I have a crew already. Yeah. But I think I always have. At every stage of my life. I mean, in my 20s, my 30s, 40s, and now going into my 50s, I've always had that. But how do you grab those guys, and they all meet together, and that becomes their bond, if you would, like they're committed to the group? What does that look like?
Well, I mean, I think I can answer because we've done it, right? With Josh and Kyle here. There's that group. So I have another group of guys that I'm really close with. I actually just went.
Wait, there's another one?
Well, it takes 4 or 3 to replace him. So just kidding, guys. I'll still love you. But I went to Dallas and saw these guys putting on the t-shirt. It had probably been, I think we said 5 or 6 years since we had all gotten together.
Okay.
But back in the day, when high school, college, after that, I'd hang out with them. And when I used to bring Jake around, there was, I think it was me. And I don't want to I'm not trying to boast. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but the understanding of they know who I am. That group of friends knew exactly who I am, what I'm about, and what I appreciate in a group of friends. So bringing Jake in or bringing them to meet Jake, everyone I think was under that understanding of well, shit, if they're really close with Jake, they're got to be a pretty awesome dude.
Yeah.
So it instantly, I think, just brought us all together, because now if Jake needed anything, they would instantly be there for him, and vice versa. I know Jake because how close I am with them. He would show up and help them with whatever they needed. But I think it was just the understanding of we are the same type of people. We have the same morals and, honorability, I guess you could say.
Sure.
That this is going to be a great guy because of the people that are introducing us. So it gets away of oh, hi, I'm Jake Brown. Nice to meet you. I'm from whatever. It gets rid of that initial hello period to, you're a hell of a guy.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with you because he's bringing you around, which means you're a hell of a guy too. So it just eliminates that need of trying to prove yourself as a man. Or
I think this is the same thing as here at the cigar shop. With our group of guys on Friday nights. They weren't all just your friends. They weren't all my friends. We came together. You got together with Dale, Money Guy Dale, and brought him in. We got together with another guy you knew from your kids' high schools and everything. And
John.
The group started to grow, but it wasn't never hey, you're not allowed here, get out of here.
Yeah.
Or it was a team vote. It was hey, maybe let's keep it.
But I think that's. I'll give you another analogy. I think that really helps. Select guys that are going to be in your life for long-term periods. This is how I select people. Because I do select it. I think that I'm not saying this is an alpha trait or anything else like that. I'm just saying I think this is necessary for every man to get. I think I look for fat people. I don't mean fat as in big, like me.
PHAT, boy.
I'm not talking about PHAT, but fat as an acronym. But first I look for faithful guys who are faithful. I mean, they're faithful to their work, they're faithful to their wives, faithful to their children. And I could see that. I see the epicenter of their life as their family, and that equates magnitudes of earthquakes of positive net cultures away from them. Like when I go back to them, I see other guys around them, so they're faithful. Second, they're available. Like some guys I'd love to hang out with, they're just not available.
Yeah,
there's just guys that they're just too busy. They're chasing their dream, they're chasing something else, and they're not available. So, but guys who are available, I'm like, yeah, man, I'll make time. When I don't know if you understand this though. Like I don't know if I've ever conveyed this to you. But the fact that you guys take time on Fridays to come smoke a cigar with me says it's probably one of the biggest, deepest forms of respect to me I've ever gotten. Like, I'm like, that's cool. You could be doing, I mean, Friday night, dude, we're all at the end of our weeks. Yep. We want to go home to our wives, sit and watch a movie, order some fast food, or do something else like that. At least that's version of heaven right now. If I'm out riding a motorcycle with you guys. So as a result, like that availability, I know that that's not something that comes easily.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you can't get back in this life is time, you know? And so faithful, available. And then, the last one is teachable, like guys who are humble in their own way. Not every guy is humble, and not every guy's humble in his own way. You got to look for it for some guys. Some guys are humble, and some guys just need to be humbled. Like they talk and think they know everything about everything. That's not true. But
don't you dare.
But like, so faithful and available, teachable. When I find a guy that says three things, a guy doesn't know everything. Okay, that he's supplementing his knowledge with other people. Is like, I got a guy. I mean, the guy who has a guy for everything. I'm sure you guys have guys, but yeah, exactly. I do too. Yeah, like I got a guy. You know, so like in that regard, and then the guy makes himself available to hang out and do other stuff and so on and so forth, and doesn't just talk about the stuff that he's interested in. He generally comes around and says, tell me what's going on in your life, man. Did you have a good day, and so on and so forth, and how you doing and everything else like that. I can see in, like, I've seen times where we come in and we smoke cigars, and we sat down and you were like, I need a cigar. I need to sit down on a cigar.
And falling asleep.
Right. Yeah. And there's times that I told you, I think I called Dale one time. I'm like, I need you to bring whiskey. And he's like, yeah? I'm like, I'm not going to get drunk, but I just need a good stiff drink today. It's kind of hard.
One of those.
Yeah, it's one of those days. Because stiff drink with a cigar sets me right. You know, that kind of thing. So, and it's in those moments where you have the faithful, available, and teachable, along with the time, trust, and truth, that make for this absolute baller of a group you can get.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for you, because as we talked
about your podcast, this is your podcast. It's going to take our own podcast. It's getting like millions of views all over the time, and they come on my podcast. Try to. Did you see the slip? Did you see the slip in subtlety of that? Did you guys see that?
Check us out.
City Yucky Podcast.
Podcast. Subtle.
Well, you guys see their podcast. Podcast is incredible. It really is.
Wow, we appreciate that.
It really is.
So, because I'm one of those guys that I only came in because Jake Brown brought me, right?
Oh, yeah. You didn't know really.
I didn't play football. Right? I didn't know any of these other guys. So I was somebody who he brought in. And luckily enough, like we all connected. And now, you know, before I was like, well, shit, I'm just Jake Brown's friend. Like, I'll only go with Jake Brown. And now I come in and out and hang out all the time, right? So we built our own relationship. But when Jake Brown originally brought me in, like, how did you... Were you like, hey, shit, this is a guy, like, I don't know if this guy to come in, or what was something that you acknowledged? Because when I first met you, you were, hey, welcome to the group, big ass hug. That's just the type of person who you are. But I wasn't sure how to solidify myself. So what was your initial impression of
solidify?
Like, how did I become part of that group for you? Like, what happened? What was something that kind of...
I remember a conversation that we had that was a real deep conversation about crap you're going through in life at some point.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, you're going to get there with guys. If you're, and this is just really weird in the manosphere, if you would, to be comfortable enough in your own skin that you're able to tell another guy, like, hey, this is some shit I'm going through. It's rare for guys to say that, because we shove everything down. We just deal with it ourselves. And you drink it away, you smoke it away, or do something else, you know, that kind of thing. So, but being able to talk to other guys. And so I knew after that, I think I can't remember what I said to you. I said something like, you know, I'm here, dude. I'm not going anywhere. You're part of this family. Whatever you need, you know, I'll fire everybody I can, and I hire you to figure this whole thing out. So,
and you meant every word. That
100%.
I remember that interaction.
Yeah, 100%
yesterday. Yeah, and you meant it. You were truthful about it, and you didn't really know that much about me. It was just
I'd seen you probably for about a year, maybe I'd seen you on and off for about a year in the group,
on and off.
Yeah, but not even a camping trip. We haven't done a camping trip yet.
No,
you know. So, and but Jake Mara and I are both really big campers. It's a solid one. We're solid one-nighters.
Or one.
Yeah,
in and out.
Jake Brown would live in the mountains if he could. But the dynamic, I think, when you let somebody in, you're like, dude, I'm committed. If there's anything you need, if there's something that I can do for you, you let me know. And then a guy follows through with that. You know, that's the part where I'm like, yeah, that's solid, man. That's a solid thing. I remember guys who in high school, like, were that tight with me. Like Reith, if you ever need anything, man, you let me know. I'll tell you this really crazy story. I remember being in 8th grade. I was a bad kid in 8th grade. I didn't come to Christ till I was like a freshman in high school. So They had like, I was always suspended. I was always in detention. I was just a really bad kid. Always fighting and everything else like that because I was a jerk. But there's a guy who moved into our school, and he didn't have any friends, but he was kind of like for the wrong side of the tracks, kind of like, kind of poor, if you would, kind of super blue collar, and that's kind of where I lived, but not to the degree where he was at. And but I became his friend, and this dude was a scrapper. This dude was a fighter, and he was never afraid of anybody. Now, there are older guys like that. Well, at one point, I remember like high school guys were like picking on me or something like that. I can't remember if it was a bus ride or what it was. And this, I can't tell you about the guy. I can't tell you the guy's name, but this guy came up to me and goes, "Hey, Reith, this guy's come around again. You tell me, I'll take care of him." I'm like, "Well, I don't want you to do anything, dude." And he's like, "Yeah, no, don't worry about it." I remember one time those guys came up to me. It was after school, and it was in the hallway. Three of them teamed up on me and threw me into a locker. This dude came running out of nowhere and beat the out of them. I mean, I was like John Wick style, bro. I was like, and he's like, "Come on, Reith, let's go. We'll walk home together." Then I was like, "Oh, this dude!" And to this day, like, I will never forget that guy. I'll never forget what he did. And to this day, if that guy ever called, and he has my number, if that guy ever called, I would absolutely 100%. But I'll fly back. I'll do everything I can. I'll just little things like that. So there's been things that a guy can do to earn trust that you already did. And a lot of it, I think something else too that we're neglecting to say, a lot of that trust comes with the character of the person that you're coming with. Right. Like I know him. Like, there's people that are never going to bring people in my life that are bad.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Or that'll be detrimental to my life, my family, or anything else like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that group's those people.
Yeah.
So there's other people that are in my life that are like acquaintances or I'm friendly with that I wouldn't let my children be around. I wouldn't let my kids necessarily hang out with their kids or anything else like that. But with you and with your families, if I'm out of town, Jamie calls me, says there's a maniac at the door, I'm calling you. Hey, I need you to get down to my house right now.
I'm gonna show up.
Yeah, you gotta go get the. Yeah, I do. I'm just afraid.
You'd be more afraid of the guy just kicked down your door.
Don't kill him, guys. Just hold him, cuff him. I'll be back soon. Yes,
We'll be on your property.
Yeah,
It's fine.
think about the property.
Yeah. Allegedly.
But it's also nice because the wives get together as well now.
Yeah.
Not just us getting together.
Yeah.
For cigar.
The wives and girls. The females. But one day be wives at some point. That on. Did I say it out loud on the podcast?
Yeah, didn't you?
Yeah, let's get it, dude.
But like, I know
I'm doing that wedding.
Kendi.
I'm doing that wedding. I got cowboy boots for it
And shorts.
Yeah.
Shorts.
Can I wear shorts? Bro, did you see the Hard Knocks with Wilford? Or Vince Wilford. Vince Wilford, yeah. Where he came in with that. That's what I want. I want the overalls. What's up, man? Let's go, Nate. Let's go.
Moonshine in your hand. Let's go.
White Wolf Fork over here.
Let's go, boys. Yeah.
I know for like Kendi just mentioned tonight. She was like, "Hey, yeah, you got game night with the girls on Friday." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fantastic." That makes me feel good as well.
Oh yeah.
Because she's never been one to say, "Hey, you're not allowed to go out with the boys or go out hang out with anyone."
Yeah.
She's never been that type. But now it's nice because it's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with the girls, so you go find your own."
My wife had been so sick for so long on that thing too, man. Some of you guys know the journey and everything like that. If you watch social media with me. Jamie's feeling great now. She's been on that carnivore diet. I've been on the carnivore diet. Not a stretch for me. I love eating meat, but yeah, she's feeling much better. So she wants to do more of that stuff now. So it's been incredible.
To go camping.
I know she wants to. She really does. And I'm like,
more than one night.
Oh, she is a multi-night person. I think I will go home and let her stay up there with you guys. I'll sleep in my bed and I'll drive back up. That kind of thing. But I think also what we're talking about, even with the camping thing, I think creating experiences to do with guys is necessary for friendship because it's there you get to see a different part of the guy you didn't see before. Either from him, like it's just indulge me for a second. It's just from like seeing him drive up to his interaction with his other buddies on the road to who gathers the firewood while you're there to like who cooks everything to like the guy who sits down and lets everyone do everything. That's me. Yeah, dude, because you guys love doing it. You're like, I'll get the fire out of this. I'm like, that sounds great, dude. Did you bring
fun doing
Yeah. You guys have fun doing it.
I brought the cigar.
That's exactly what I did.
There you go.
I brought cigars, guys. Come on, was it cigar 30? Cigar 30, bro. But I think those environments, and you have little idiosyncrasies of stories and fun things that guys do during that time that stick with you the rest of your life. Like Jeff's, Jeff had the elk stew, the elk stew, and I'm like, this is elk stew, and you know he put mushrooms in that.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He put mushrooms in it.
He did.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Yeah,
he put mushrooms in it. But I guess they're like normal mushrooms.
Type of mushroom.
I guess it's normal mushrooms, stuff that he raised or something like that.
You know,
So-
saute some mushrooms up with mushrooms.
The mushrooms from Jeff, I'd be wondering if I'm seeing Jesus, you know.
Bacon burgers on
Oh yeah.
griddle, and then we forgot to clean it up.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was dark. Good job. We're doing vegetarian.
Oh shit! I forgot that.
It just smelled like nothing but bacon grease all the way home.
So that
You're welcome.
so that anybody thinks that we're, you know, we don't like vegans. We have a dear vegan friend. I don't think he's vegan. He's vegetarian.
I think it's vegetarian.
Yeah, because he eats tater tots and ketchup. Because usually vegans won't eat that, do they? Tater tots. I have it. It's fried in animal fat, I think. So the final things as we wrap up the podcast. The final things, if you were to say, what qualities do you think guys should look for in good friends that become brothers? What's one particular quality?
Mine is going to be work ethic and future. So
Okay.
I'm big on the work ethic. If they're going to sit home and, you know, play video games for 7 days a week and not do anything to help better their lives, I don't want any part of it, because I want someone that's going to be able to push me throughout my life.
Okay.
I want them to have a future, even if the goals are out of reach. I want those goals set for them. That way, one, I can help them get to it, and two, they're going to push me to further my goals. So work ethic and future goals is big for me.
Okay.
I guess I could say somebody who's true to their word.
Okay.
And that can be as small as, you know, hey, Thursday, let's go grab a beer and hang out. And then showing up that Thursday. Even if it's for an hour, doesn't have to be a whole night or a whole event, but just something.
Take it before 9 p.m.
No.
Are you not out?
No, I used to be. I don't used to be. It's not as bad as what I used.
Like when I get the text, hey, we're going to meet up on Thursday night or Saturday night. I'm like, perfect. I'll be there. What time? 9 o'clock. I'm asleep for an hour.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It's just what it is. But again, somebody who's true to their word and just backs what they say. If they say they're going to do something for you, they better do it. If they say they're going to be somewhere, they better be there. Somebody that's true to what they say. That's a big thing for me.
My thing would be loyalty. I see that with guys, you know, when
Explain what loyalty means for between men.
a little bit of what you said, a lot of loyalty is unspoken, and being there when the guy doesn't want you to be there, like being there when the guy doesn't think you need to be. I think that speaks volumes of loyalty. I'll give you an example. And being there for certain friends through the past, not because I even had to be, because I wanted to be, particularly in times of tragedy or in times of stress or anything else like that. I know that endeared me to them and endeared me to him. There's guys that I can think of maybe 12 deaths, that maybe 13 if I think about it, that being there for a guy in the midst of a tragedy like unexpected death.
You were one of my first calls.
Yeah, that's one of them. You're one of the 12. One of the 13. Yeah, dude, I remember that. Yeah, it's Tris sitting over there too. I mean, like that. What that does, and it's something that men don't share enough in, and that we don't respect our veterans for enough. Is shared grief and shared struggle really does bond men. It really does in ways that nobody else can. If you haven't,
It's even hard to explain.
Right.
It's that connection that you just instantly have that's tethered to your soul almost.
Right. There really is. The veterans that come back and they're talking about we slang the same mud and we in the same blood, all that kind of stuff. I get that. I understand that. And I may not have experienced that, but with other guys and so on and so forth, when you walk through real hard things, divorce, things like that with friends, you know, that guys that take responsibility for it but don't want to have any, you know, it's already destroyed the family. You know, things like that are really hard to work with. death of children, tends to bond people in ways that are just crazy. And then, I mean, and not only, I'm not trying to put on a morbid thing, that does bond you, but then like being invited to celebrations of stuff like that, like just the simplest birthdays to like freaking
just a family,
yeah.
Hey, we're going out Friday night for dinner.
Right. I mean, so hearing that from I had somebody that I considered like more of an acquaintance and a friend, and he asked me this, and I want to be careful about this on the podcast. He probably watches it. He's like, yeah, I'm getting married, and somebody I talk to occasionally, and not really, but I would call him a friend for sure. I was like, that's awesome because you're coming, right? And this was out of state, this was far, and this was last minute, kinda. And I was like, and maybe in my younger years I probably could have gone and probably would have. At this point, I was like, man, first off, the fact that you would invite me is, I'm honored by that. I really am. And I wanted to convey that to him as much as I could. Like, I really am honored that you asked me to come. And I'll be praying for you. I'm very excited about you. I think that's great. I love marriage. I think marriage is a great thing. I don't think I can come, to be honest with you. And what was great about that is he did what most guys don't do when guys tend to be desperate. They ask for whys. Like, they're like, why can't you come? He respected the fact that I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I have responsibilities here. I have a wife and family here, things like that. That don't just let me go. I just can't just pick up and leave anytime I want. And so I really respected that. And I was like, okay, that's really cool. He's like, I get that, man. I fully understand that. And then he made a statement to me. He goes, hey, you're going to be missed, just so you know. Like, not just me, but all of us are going to miss you.
That's cool.
And I was like,
that's huge.
I get that,
that's
man.
Huge.
I told you the one thing I want more than anything, the best thing I ever heard in my entire life, is the guys that were fighting over carrying a guy's casket. I do. I want to see guys fighting over that, and then all of them agree on the men that should carry it. Yeah, I think that's one of the greatest things. And if you're talking about legacy, I think that's one of the strongest legacies I've ever seen, of a man in brotherhood. So, well, we got super deep on the podcast.
If you want to end it right,
I know, like that's good. The death type stuff. We got super deep. We went way down and went way up, and now we're back at like ground level. I believe we're not 20 feet deep. We're not high in the sky. We're at ground level. Any questions, comments, or insults that you guys would have for me?
What's something that? Oh no, Hollywood! I'm taking over this guy.
I is the Yucky podcast.
Welcome to the Yucky Podcast, where we talk to focal entrepreneurs.
Back. I don't want to ask a question.
Then you ask a question. Well, ask a question. You guys don't want to hear it. I want to hear it now. Yeah, I got one question. Go. You have one.
You want to sponsor us?
Hey, this is our new sponsor.
They don't know about it yet.
They don't know about it yet. Coco5. Go to coco5.com. And this is the orange one. I had it the other day on the podcast. It was good.
It's actually not bad.
And yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the cherry one is my favorite one.
Your cherry one?
Yeah.
Cherry, lime, pomegranate, and orange.
Passion
fruit. That's right. Passion fruit. Pretty interesting. So I really like it. Coconut water, potassium. Only like 16, 14 grams of sugar, something like that.
Yep.
80 calories in the whole thing.
Yeah. You want to send it to theyuckypodcast@gmail.com. Please feel free.
What he said.
Yeah.
What he said.
Let us know.
Give me the question so I can end the podcast.
Well, so what's something that you see in a gentleman or a younger guy that comes into your cigar shop that you recognize as somebody that you would accept into sitting around and smoke?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Thank you. Off the dome.
Sponsor. If we ever do a podcast together, it will be
sponsor us.
It will be Joe Rogan times 3.
I'm in.
This is what I would say. I have had that before. I think that relationship's weird because they just came into my cigar shop. But I would say there's guys that come into my shop that I care deeply for and I would consider friends. And I would even hang out with outside the cigar shop. But second, it's like one of my other customers said the other day. One customer was talking about his business and what's going on and what he's doing in life. And then he started talking to my customer about his business. And that customer at the counter just shut him up. I was like, yo, man, I'm about this business right now. We're here for this guy's business. We're here for Zeal Cigars. I'll talk to you in a minute. And I was like, wow, oh, that was solid. So
yeah.
Like that guy was really cool. And I was like, I appreciate that, man. He was like, no, man, you're about your business. This is a business, man. You're here to make money. And he's a truck driver. And he was saying like, hey, look, man, I'm driving trucks, and that's what I do, you know? So it was really cool to have that. I really respected that. So I think when I meet somebody like that, the respect given is the respect earned from me usually.
Nice.
So I'm not a big fanboy guy. Like somebody watches my YouTube and they're just like, I watch your YouTube all the time, as well as worth. The guys who watch the YouTube and come in and say things like, hey man, I watch YouTube, learned a lot. It's been really cool. And they leave it at that. That's really cool. I really enjoy that. I don't mind taking pictures of people. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But I think like the part when somebody kind of goes off like, oh man, I just can't believe it's you. And I'm like, I'm a stupid, dumb old man with a YouTube channel that smokes cigars and likes to laugh and talk to interesting people. That's it. Yeah. There's nothing real complicated about it.
There you go.
There really isn't. It's not marketing. It's just, I do it because I have to.
So if you want to come in and hang out with Brett, be yourself.
Yeah.
Around, buy cigars, sit and smoke.
But I think that for guys, and you keep saying be yourself. I think that's one of the best things for guys that they can do is be comfortable in your own skin. And those people who are comfortable in their own skin are going to want to be around you.
Yeah.
They will. Because you got nothing to hide. And you got nothing, you're not being pretentious about anything.
Yep.
You know, I really do that. So I do think that. All right. So for the for the Cut Light Smoke podcast.
The Yucky podcast.
The Yucky podcast. What's the Yucky podcast?
Yeah.
So first off, give your plug. Tell them all about your podcast.
So it's the Yucky podcast. It's something that me and Jake put together. We talked to
Jake and I.
Jake and myself.
Wasn't too good in English.
I know. I wasn't neither one. I ain't gonna say it. No,
with the school.
Mama said I'm special, and I'm just trying to be the best that I can be. Why did I get Southern and hick with it?
I don't know.
But
That's racist in some way.
But it's an entrepreneur kind of business podcast. We like, really learning the most that we possibly can. And there's some people out there like that enjoy learning just as much as we do. So it's a lot of fun. We brought T-Lee Productions in to really kind of help us. And then obviously we're basing, a lot of things that we've seen from you and learned from you. And that's how we've kind of been able to build our podcast. So we're on Apple and iTunes.
It's awesome, boys.
iTunes.
It's a very
Spotify. Yes, all the platforms. We're having a lot of fun with it. So
it's awesome, dude. I was on there recently. I listened to the podcast.
Heck yeah.
It was fun. It was very fun. It was very fun. It was good. Very, very good. A lot of good stuff came out of that. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to the Cut Light Smoke podcast. This is where I say all my stuff and everything else like that. I'm not going to do that because these are my buddies and I'm looking forward to hanging out with them after this. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'll see you later. Peace.